What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here, where data empowers true potential and I show you the power of your numbers. In today's video, I am going to be looking at ThredUp. It's all the rage right now. I feel like so many resellers are really getting into it and saying it's like the next big thing. So I really wanted to dig deep into it and see if it is actually worth your time. So in today's video, I am going to look at all the things on ThredUp to help you decide if ThredUp is worth it for you. So stay tuned. What's up? Thank you guys so much for joining. If you're new here, I am a reseller and on Poshmark and eBay and a couple other places here and there. ThredUp, I'm trying. I'm going to share my results with you on that. I'm also a mom of 3, so I am remote learning 3 kids while also running this business, and I have a degree in mathematics and have 3 dashboards for sale for the reseller to help you be able to quickly analyze and look at your numbers. You don't have to know how to use spreadsheets and make the graphs and charts and figure out what you need to look at. That is the purpose of the dashboards. That is the purpose of this channel, to help you really be able to maximize your true potential and make the money I know that you guys can make. So if you like content like this, do make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell so that you get notified when new content has come out. Make sure to give me a like on your way out of this video as well. Feel free to leave comments down below too on your experience with ThredUp, things that you like, you don't like, your experience with it as well. I love the community of resellers and learning and growing together. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about ThredUp. I've been on ThredUp for about a month and a half. If you're not familiar with ThredUp, it is an online consignment store. I have a video with Crenshaw. She does a course for ThredUp, and so I did a live with her. So she'll go a bit more into detail about how to use it, what it is. But it's an online consignment store. You send in stuff to them, they take pictures, they list it, you get paid out. Sounds simple, right? Why don't all resellers just do that and then we never have to list again, we never have to take photos again? And that might be the right choice for you. But I do want to consider all of the factors in going into this. So let's jump right into it. First, I want to talk about time. Time is money. Absolutely. So as you're thinking about doing this, if you don't, let me pull this up. Yeah. So as you're thinking about doing this, consider your time. Is it worth your time? I currently, full disclosure, because I am a mom of 3 running a business, I don't list my own items. I pay someone to list for me. I take photos and I ship. That's it. I don't go through and list. So that is one-time thing that I don't do as a reseller. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. But from a time perspective, I time myself because I can make more money if I can do more in less time, right? If I can list 20 items instead of 10, I'm going to make more money. So I am often timing myself to get an idea of what's worth it for me. And I did the same with ThredUp. So ThredUp, I was sending in new inventory that I had not listed yet, and then I also sold in some stale inventory, things that were already listed, things that were in my inventory system. So when I was pulling from my inventory, it would take me 1 minute. On average, right, I pulled 30 items, and on average that took me about 30 minutes because I'd have to go through it and find and figure out what I wanted. To take them off the platforms, I'm on Poshmark and eBay. eBay is significantly easier to take items off, but going in and finding them and taking them off is very time consuming, and then taking it off of Poshmark as well. That takes me 3 minutes an item. So these are buy items. So it takes me 1 minute an item to pull the inventory, 3 minutes for the platforms. Once you send out the box, you need the best strategy for ThredUp, and we talk about this in my live with Crenshaw, but is to maximize your profits, is to increase that price. They're going through some changes, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but they're going through some changes. But currently, as I'm filming this video, it is October 17th. It may take me a bit of time to get the video out there. But so currently, as of October 17th, you can max profit 80% of the MSRP. So you want to do that to get your max profit, but you only have a 12-hour window from when they're done processing. And they're not very good with communication in letting you know when this is. And that 12-hour window could be when you are asleep. And so then you wake up and you only have 3 hours, and you have to do it. It's on their time. And they say I paid for expedited, so it should be processed in 7 days, and they will give you a time, you know, it's going to process in 3 days, and every single bag that I have had has processed in a different time than what they've said. So you really do have to monitor it daily. So that is something that you have to do. You change your prices. You can send in, it's 30 pounds. I sell clothes, so that's roughly 30 items for me. It took me about a minute a piece to change the item. I'm going to get into ThredUp in a minute and show you their format. It is absolutely not set up for a business, for a reseller. It's not set up to be able to easily see all of your inventory, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. So it is kind of time consuming when you do stuff in there. Took me a minute. And then micromanaging. Honestly, there is a lot of micromanaging with this because it's on a different platform. You don't have control over how it's listed, what the price is set at, how to change it. You can change the price, but you cannot change the MSRP. So if they have the MSRP wrong, then you can't change the price to what it should be. So then you have to contact them. They may have, there's a couple items that I had, they have the wrong brand. And so it's not going to sell if it, you know, I think it was a Free People item and they had it as unbranded. Well, it's not going to sell if it's unbranded. So there's a lot of micromanaging that you have to do. I am currently sending them emails and it takes them about 2 weeks to respond to an email. Their chat is down. Sometimes it's down. Sometimes it's not down. I'm finding ThredUp to be very, very inconsistent in what I'm doing. One day something works and then the next day it changes. And then also in talking with other people. Sometimes people can get bags. Sometimes people cannot get bags. So that is the time that it is taking me currently for ThredUp. I am going to add, I didn't put this on here, but I am going to add because I have got bags back. So they decide how much they want to take, and what they don't take, you can have them return it to you. And so when they return it to me, then I have to go in and update my data and update my bookkeeping, right? And that's taking me a minute. Yes, that's taking me a minute as well. So I'm going to add that here. 1 minute for returns. Right. So just quickly, I'm not going to count the micromanaging because I didn't have, I mean, it depends on how many issues that you have, but that's 1 minute for returns, 1 minute for changing prices, 3 minutes for taking off the platform, and 1 minute. So minus monitoring and micromanaging, that is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes for one item. I'm not even listing. I don't have to take photos or shipping, and it takes me roughly 6 minutes an item. On eBay, keep in mind I don't do the listing, so that is part of my time. Monitor how long it takes you to do a listing, but it takes me 2 minutes an item to photo, and it takes me 3 minutes to ship. So it is actually less time on eBay than it is on ThredUp. So that's something to consider, and keep in mind when you guys are on ThredUp as well, look at your time, because time is money. Is it actually less time? And that's the first thing. And then I want to look at our profit, because that's what we really care about, right? So if I'm making a lot more money, but it takes me a little bit more time, is it worth it, right? So let's look at the Sarah Styles Analytical Dashboard. If you are not, or Sarah Styles Sales and Trends Dashboard, excuse me. If you are new to the channel, this is one of the dashboards. This is the Sales and Trends Dashboard. It is for all platforms. You can put in up to 20 different platforms that you sell on, and you will be able to see the data for all of these different platforms. It is an easy copy, or it is an easy tracking spreadsheet. So when I purchase something, I list it in here, and when I sell something, I update it. For ThredUp, and I'll show you guys this really quickly. For ThredUp, I will go in and put ThredUp on here, and then I will print out all of the information and ship it with my package. So this has all of my data in it. Let's go ahead and look at, I'm on the inventory tab, and if I scroll down, let me make sure I'm at the right time frame. Yes. So if I scroll down, I can look at and compare my different platforms. As of current, ThredUp is selling at the highest price. So hooray, let's do it. I don't have to list, I don't have to ship, I'm sending everything to ThredUp, and that's my new business plan. And maybe that's true, but keep watching to see some of the other things that I am taking into account, and I'll tell you at the end of the video how I'm going to put ThredUp into my business plan. So it is selling, but keep in mind these are gross. That number right here in this dashboard is a gross number. It does not take into account shipping, fees, and costs. cost of goods, how much your item costs. If you scroll down here, you can see that breakout, and look at this. That gray is your average fees by platform, and ThredUp by far has the biggest average fee because they take such a big payout. So let's look at ThredUp's payouts. It is a consignment shop, right? So they're taking. So as you sell for higher, you get paid more. If you sell items $200 or higher, you get an 80% kickback. That's roughly what you would get. That is exactly what you would get on Poshmark. eBay, depending on how you do promoted listings and stuff, it may be a little bit, you may get more of a payout, maybe closer to 90%. But I don't have any items that are selling for $200. I don't know about you guys, but like that's not the life that I live. $100 to $199, that is a very small portion of my inventory that I'm selling. So that's 60 to 80%. I'm probably more in the $20 to $49, $50 to $99 price range. This is what it's listed and selling at. So then you only get 30 to 60% of what it sells at. If you sell for under $50, you are only getting 15 to 30% of what it sells for. That is why these fees are so high. So while it's selling for $58, I'm only making $17 on average for these items, what I'm selling in. I will say things that have been what I sent in. Some of this is things that I purchased on a pallet, and I'm showing in my what sold videos what is selling from all these different platforms. There's things that I have that sell on Poshmark, eBay, and on ThredUp. Like I have multiples of the items, so you can see how they compare. But a lot of it is like stale inventory that didn't sell on Poshmark and eBay for like a year or year and a half. And so I'm sending it to ThredUp. So it is, things that aren't selling on Poshmark and eBay, but things that are selling across the board. Yes, they're selling higher. So my highest average sale price for ThredUp is definitely up there, but dig a bit deeper. It's selling higher, but I'm making less profit. My profit is only $17, where Poshmark I'm making roughly $20. eBay, I'm making roughly $19. And keep in mind, for me, I spend less time on eBay and Poshmark because I don't list. So I do pay someone for that. But even if I did list, when I was listing, it was taking me 2 or 3 minutes to do a listing when I had kid-free time. That's my thing, is I don't have that much kid-free time. But 2 or 3 minutes. If you can get really good at that process, you can do it start to finish in like 6 minutes, and then your time is the same, right? Your time is the same, and you're making less profit on ThredUp. The next thing I want to talk about too is your bookkeeping. So like I said, this is where I have a financial bookkeeping where I keep track of like my tax information, my financials, my bank accounts, and all of that. But as far as bookkeeping for like my inventory and how do I track and manage my inventory and then have access to this data, it's all in this spreadsheet. When something gets listed, it gets put in here. It takes me, 30 seconds. When something, or my lister will do it, when something sells, I ship it, I update this, and I move on. That's included in my shipping time. It's 3 minutes from pulling the item, packaging it, putting a label on it, and updating the spreadsheet takes me 3 minutes. Definitely encourage you guys to find ways to be more efficient with your time. That will increase your profits. Easy thing to do, that's free. And so this is how I bookkeep. So it's very easy from start to finish. Poshmark, when something sells, I just update it as I ship it out. So I don't have to worry about going into the different platforms, figuring it out. I don't ship on ThredUp, right? I don't ship. So I have to go in and figure out how to do it. And let me show you the chaos that is ThredUp. So they have, actually, let me go back one. So this is what it looks like. This is what your sales look like. I currently have 5 kits in, which means I've sent 5 boxes to them, 104 items selling, and 5 items have sold. So out of the 109 items that I had, I've sold 5. So my sell-through rate's not that great. I've had stuff there for a month and a half. But see, this is where it gets you, and this is where I want you guys to really be cognizant and pay attention. Your potential payout, my potential payout is $8,000. It sounds really exciting, and then I get payout, I get things that sell for $60 and I get really excited, but is your profit actually worth your time? So this is the chaos that is, it goes kit by kit. It's not meant to be a reselling platform, so it is not structured for it to have a zillion kits. It's really chaotic for me, and I only have 5 kits on there. I can only imagine the more kits that I have, or people that have, 50 kits on here, because you have to go through every kit to figure out what's sold. So let's click on, so let's say I want to update my dashboard, and I did this the other day. I had to click on here, minimize this, and then this is one item that sold. I sold for $34. Well, I put gross in. So then I have to go and see how much it actually sold for. I think if you click on here, yes. So if you click on here, it sold for $75 and then the payout was $34. So to update my bookkeeping, manage my inventory, know what sold, know how much it sold for, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. You guys need to know where your inventory is, where your money is. It doesn't have to be in my spreadsheet, but some way manage your inventory. I have to go in one by one, and this is this one kit, and now I have to go back and find another kit, and then I have to go back and find another kit, right? And so it is very time consuming to do the bookkeeping, where Poshmark and eBay, something ships, I update it, and I move on with life. The other thing too is the control. This is their business. This is their company. They can do whatever they want. And they have shown that in the past couple of weeks, where they have changed their fee structure. They've kind of gone back on it, but said that maybe in the future they're going to again. But it's their company. You have no control over it. And that's the same with Poshmark and eBay. And I'll tell you how I'm going to combat this and lower my risk at the end of this video, how I am going to use ThredUp into my business. But it is their company. So I would be very cautious with solely doing one platform as your company, not just ThredUp, but even like only doing eBay, only doing Poshmark. Your risk is going to be significantly higher if they decide to change something, if it crashes, if it gets hacked, there's a lot of things that can happen if you're not in charge of it. And so I'd be very cautious. They went on here and they're saying, they've gone back on it now, but said in the future, they're not going to let you do 80% of the MSRP. It's going to be closer to 50. And so if something is MSRP $100 and you can only maximize it to 50, and then you can only get paid out, what was the payout for $50? You can only get paid out 30% of that. You're making even less on ThredUp than you were before, right? So the one last thing that I want to talk about, and then I am going to tell you what I am doing with ThredUp and how I am using my data and all of everything that I've told you to decide if I want, or how I'm going to use ThredUp in my business. So the other thing is the payout. So from the time that you send something in, it has to get processed. If you process it, if you pay for expedited shipping or expedited processing, it'll get processed in 7 days. I actually think they're in the process of changing that, so that may be a little outdated depending on when this video goes out. But either way, you are paying to process it quicker. If you do not pay to process it quicker, you can be waiting up. I know people who sent in a bag in May and it has not even been processed yet. So you now have inventory that you spent money on that isn't even on a platform to be processed, and you have no control over when that is going to happen, right? So you pay for expedited, that comes out of your profits again, right? And it takes a week. Something gets listed, so it's a week now since you've sent in the inventory. I'm gonna take that back. It's even longer than that. You have pulled your inventory, you have shipped it off. Let's say on the good side, it takes you 3 to 5 days to get to their facility. That's 5 days. And then it takes 7 days for them to process. That is now 12 days. Let's say something sells on day one. Something sells on day one. They have a return window. So you don't get paid out until 14 days after after they receive it. So it takes, let's say, 3 to 5 days for it to get there. So now we're at 17 days. From that 17 days, they have 14 days to decide if they want to return it before you get paid out. So 17 plus 14, you're over a month. If something sells on day one, you are over a month before you get paid out for that item from the day that you took it off of other platforms or you decided to send it to ThredUp. Not saying that's necessarily bad, but that is something that you need to consider as you're running your business. You are having a lag in the capital that is coming in. If you need that money to pay your mortgage, or if you need that money to, like, if you're going to have ThredUp as part of your business structure, you need to be okay with not having that money for a month. eventually you may get caught up, but that is another something to consider as well. So I do want to talk about, I'm not saying any of this is bad, but I want to give full disclosure and for you to really be able to look at how ThredUp works and what you need to consider when you decide whether or not you want to put that into your business plan. What am I going to do? I'm going to use it. It definitely, like I said, a lot of the inventory that I'm sending are things that have not sold on Poshmark and on eBay. So they're not selling on other platforms, so I'm making no profit on them, right? Am I going to source specifically and send it to ThredUp? No. I don't feel comfortable with having, if it's in ThredUp, it cannot be anywhere else. The risk of having all of my inventory somewhere else when they make a change or they lose it and I'm having to micromanage them, I would rather spend my time taking photos and shipping than micromanaging another company that can decide when they want to change. Not saying that is what everyone else needs to do. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, things that you're doing with ThredUp, how you are using ThredUp, or what you've considered if you're going to use ThredUp. My way, this channel is not about telling you what to do. It's about showing you how to decide what to do. So I am showing you my analysis. I am showing you things that I consider to figure out if ThredUp is for me. And I've decided I'm going to still send in, stale inventory, maybe some really high-end items. If I get something that is going to sell for over the $200, I may send it to ThredUp and see how it does over there. But most of my stuff I'm going to list, I'm going to do stuff. I don't mind the photos. I don't mind the shipping. Those are all things that I can do with the children. The micromanaging on their time frame is really hard for me, having to change prices. I woke up one morning and had to change prices when the kids had to go to school on a Zoom call, and I only had an hour to change the prices, and so I had to do it. It was very stressful. I didn't like it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Drop those notes down below. Let me know how you guys are using ThredUp if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, make sure to like this video too on your way out. Feel free to share it with other people that have questions about ThredUp and how to use ThredUp as well, and save it so that you guys can come back when you have questions about ThredUp. Have a good day.